Y'all, I have got the secret scoop on what Weissmans will be doing at Dance Teacher Web in Vegas this summer, and that honestly you're not going to see at any other summer conference. And y'all, it's going to be so good. Like so good. So good, in fact, that I had to bring on my friends from Weissmans to really share about all the good things that are coming up. Now, it's not a secret that I love Dance Teacher Web Conference. I love the people. I love the whole vibe. I love the atmosphere. I think that everyone who comes is so kind and really there to learn, connect, have fun, right? Because y'all, if we're not having joy in our lives, then what are we doing? So I absolutely adore going to Dance Teacher Web every year. And so today we're going to dive into some of the goodness that's going to be there for you if you are in attendance. And so if you're joining us, say hello, let us know that you're here. We always want to know who's with us when we come on every single week. And even if you come back in on the replay, we want to know that as well, because this is meant to be a conversation. And so if you come back on the replay, you have questions, you have like aha moments, juicy nuggets, we want to know so we can continue the conversation with you. If you've stumbled upon this somehow and you're like, I don't know how I got here, but this is good. I'm Erin Bird, and I work with dance studio owners and educators to really not only grow their businesses, but to decide what's next, to scale to the next level without feeling like it's a hustle and grind, without feeling the overwhelm or the burnout, or sacrificing your personal lives, because the reality is that you can make a huge impact. You can, build an empire and create a legacy and create your dream life without it feeling really, really hard. So if you also would like a copy of today's show notes, drop the word show notes below, and we will make sure to get those for you as well. Now, I have to ask, I know right now, this time of year, it's that time of year, which means all the things, right? It means costumes, competitions, recitals, showcases, figuring out, oh, we've got auditions, like we got auditions for next year's comp season. We've got summer schedule, and then, oh my gosh, fall and staff and all the things. I get it, y'all. It's that time of year for us too. We are not like, I'm not here to be like, ooh, it's smooth sailing. No, this week, like I had a 15-hour day the other day. It is what it is. But what I do know to be true is what we do right now matters. And this is why, for me, it's so important to have my guests on today. So if you're joining us, say hello. I see a few friends who are starting to roll in. So if you're here, say hello. We want to know because we want to have a conversation with you. But without further ado, I'm going to zip my lip, which is hard for me sometimes, my friends. But I'm going to zip it. I am going to bring in my friends. Hey, Justin. I'm going to bring in my friends. I'm going to let them. Oh, you're here. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys. It always does like this countdown, and sometimes it's on like 2, and then it pops in for me. I'm like, you didn't even get to 1. What happened? So then it's a surprise to me, but I'm so excited to have you guys here. So I'm gonna be quiet for a minute. I'm gonna let you introduce yourselves. Then I'll come back in, and we will start chatting about all of the amazing goodness that's going to be happening this summer.
Okay, Erin, that was such a great introduction. Love hearing inside the minds of the teachers and how busy you guys are, because we are as well. I'm Claudia Reed. I'm the head of marketing, have been with Weissman for 18 years, 19 in August. That's crazy. And just am so thankful to be here. Love the sales team, love the aspect of just working for a family business that's been around for almost 65 years, which is crazy. So I'm happy to be here, and alongside me, I have Lorianne.
Hi, my name is Lorianne Hagen. I am the sales manager here at Weissman, and I've been here for 4 years. Been incredible and awesome. Prior to being at Weissman, I was a studio director, faculty at a university, dancer my whole life. So I really speak your language. When Aaron's sitting here talking about the challenges and the highs and the busyness of the season, totally relate and love it. So thank you, Aaron, for having us. I'm excited to hear from other studios today and just continue building that relationship. Dance is a beautiful thing. Claudia will tell you, I always talk about my dancer heart. Like my dancer heart bleeds for this, or I'm excited about that. And I think that's something that we all share. So Aaron, thank you for having us. I'm excited to spend some time with everyone.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you. And it is true. So like, well, I feel like once a dancer, always a dancer.
For sure.
Doesn't matter what capacity you're living your life in now. We definitely, it's in our hearts, in our soul, it's in our core, in our being. I know I even said like, okay, I have a 15-year-old daughter, almost 16, which is its own thing. I'm sure you probably.
I have a 17-year-old boy. Claudia has kids too.
Okay, so yeah, I have a 15-year-old daughter. I mean, and I have an 11-year-old daughter too, but the 15-year-old daughter, theater kid and, all of that. And I was like, oh, it makes my theater mom heart happy or something. And she's like, are you really a theater heart or is it a dance heart? I'm like, really? Like, I don't know, but that's my sassy.
Crossover. It's the performer. It's the performer.
Yes. I'm like, hello, I did theater too. Like it.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, I digress. Yeah. Anywho,
it's our shared devotion totally to dance. I think that on both sides makes us.
Yes, 100%. Well, you mentioned it a little bit that y'all have been in business for 65 years.
Yeah.
Like, which is not only just like amazing and a testament to really your commitment to the industry, your commitment to what you do, knowing the impact that you're making. But I don't know about y'all. I'm super curious. I'm just naturally a curious person, right? Like we drive down the road, and I see something being built and I was like, there was a drive-through car wash being built. And I said to my husband, I go, ooh, how much would it cost to build a car wash? Because my husband's in construction, just so right. Like, and he looked at me and he's like, you want to build a car wash now? Is that what you want to do? And I go, well, and he goes, what, the bird bath? And I was like, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
That's actually great.
I'm like, we're the birds. It's not a bad idea. But anyway, I'm just naturally curious. So the reason I say that is like, I would love to know more about kind of the evolution of Weissmans and like the history of it all.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd that way. And I know that there's a lot of people here who I love seeing the evolution.
Yeah.
So would you mind sharing with me more about kind of the history and the evolution and starting and where y'all are going?
Yeah. Aaron, I love your curiosity. It's you and I think share a heart that way too, because unlike the two of you and many of the people in the audience, I'm not a dancer, have never actually taken a dance class in my life, which in some ways, when I started 18 years ago, it was very helpful because I was insatiably curious and wanted to surround myself with dance teachers and ask them every question that I could think of. Mm-hmm. So let's start with the history of Weissman. So this is a family business, has 3 generations. Hi.
My fault.
Hi.
My fault.
That's okay.
I hit the wrong button.
No worries at all. So, that's all right. That's totally cool. So we're a family business, 3 generations, was started in 1960. So a long time ago. We're about to have our 65th anniversary, 64, 65, depending on how you calculate it. So let's start with Rose Weissman, who's the matriarch in our story, and Julius Weissman, her husband. So Rose was getting on up in years, and she was trying to decide. She was a very creative person, and she loved working with local theater groups to design and sew theater costumes for local groups. And it just sort of evolved from there. Her husband, who was an accountant, he was a CPA, his name was Julius, decided to quit his job. He was in kind of the prime, almost towards the end of his career. And now he's starting this new career to be the operations finance person for Rose. And she had this dream, and she hired one seamstress to help her, and then two, and then five, and they were in the basement. And then they motivated on to helping design for costumes for recital. So that's what was happening in the 60s. They started with catalogs that had line drawings, and those are amazing catalog. It was crazy back then. So they got into direct marketing that way by mailing the catalogs out. All the costumes back in the day were very similar. They would have a satin bodice, and then Rose would embellish them in different ways. So maybe it would have some rickrack or some sparkly sequin or some fringe, but the basic of the costume was the same. So that went on, and the business grew. Well, then Julius wound up having a heart attack, and it's okay because he wound up living on through that into a ripe old age, actually, but he had a heart attack. And so their son, Howard Weissman, who is the second generation, was working in Chicago, had finished his degree in hospitality in hotel, and he was in Chicago, and he had to come home to help his father, who was convalescing and getting better. And so he injected himself in the business and wound up, he was very like tech savvy, wanted all the best equipment, and they bought cutting tables, and they bought different things to help the business to grow. There were lots of really cute and funny stories about them doing trunk shows and going on the road and interfacing with the customers. Julius Weissman was the social person, and Rose was the creative, and then Howard was sort of the business developer, if you will. So he was the second generation. Eventually, so Howard was running the business as the head of marketing with Julius as the CEO, and Rose at that point had passed. She actually had ALS and wound up passing away. So Julius was the CEO, and then Howard. Well, this was now fast forward to about 18 years ago, and they needed to hire a professional staff to help augment so that Howard could then be promoted to CEO. So he was. I joined at that point in marketing, and we had some, Brian Murley was in tech, and several other people that rounded out different departments to set the company up for growth. We always say that Howard would think about things, whether it was technology, and then maybe he'd spend several years thinking about people and several years thinking about process to help grow the business, all the while spending lots of time interfacing with customers, getting to know them, finding out what their pain points were, and really trying to talk to teachers mainly. So the business had continued to grow, and at that point, then Howard became the CEO, Julius retired, and then Lauren was the third generation. So Lauren is the granddaughter of Rose and Julius, and the only daughter of Howard Weissman. So she joined the business and was, and actually had been always involved kind of on the periphery. She worked in the pattern department. She worked her way through all the different departments. And now today she is our, she just was named CINO, which is our Chief Innovation Officer. So she's over the design side. She's over creative. She's over the creative aspects of merchandising, the products that we show, where we show them in our marketing and things like that. So Lauren's third generation. And what I love about Lauren is she's always, how can we elevate? Let's look at what we did last year, what worked and didn't work, and how can we make it better? Always with the end user in mind, the customers. So our teachers who love us, and the kids that are the lifeblood of their businesses. And so she's really the third generation, and that's sort of the story and the history. And I'm sure I'll think of some other things to pepper in along the way.
No, I mean, I absolutely love it. And I love when I talk about earlier, I do really believe that we have the opportunity as studio owners or as business owners, right, to have three pillars. A lot of times when I think as creatives, most of us go into it because we have this servant's heart. We love to create. We're passionate about dance,
Yes.
right? As a whole. And so we go in because we want to make an impact.
Yes.
Typically, right? And you can
Yeah.
make an impact, but you can also build an empire. You can create legacy, which is what has happened in your company. I mean, like with the history of everything, it's really about how is it living on long after they were gone, right?
Right.
Or long after, right? So like having multiple generations in there, really who are committed to keeping that going and plussing it, right? Essentially, how do we
Yeah.
continue to innovate? How do we continue to change with the times?
Right.
Like it's so important. And I love when I get to work with studio owners and teachers too, but really where they recognize, oh, this could be more than what I expected it to be,
Mm.
right? And really looking on how do I build that momentum and build, your business and things like partnering with costuming companies and right, really looking at there's so many resources in our industry that I don't know that all the studio owners are taking advantage of. And so this is another reason why I wanted, for you guys to join us here is because sometimes we get so in it that we can't see the forest for the trees. Right.
Yeah.
And so you get used to it. And this, like we talked about, it's that time of year. And you just feel like, oh my gosh. And you might feel the weight, right, where it's stopping you. But really, there's people out there that want to support you. And so if you could, I would love for us to talk a little bit about, dancewear and costuming and maybe some tips or tricks or strategies that you guys like to share with studio owners or even teachers as you guys are, as they're planning and thinking about. I mean, most of us should probably, here in the States anyway, I should say that, here in the States, most of us are probably at a point where we've already ordered costumes for this recital season, I would think. That being said, I'm like,
sometimes there are those that order late. That does happen.
It does.
right? I mean, it does happen. But so as they're thinking about summer and fall and like really creating a great plan and a strategy for the future, do you have any suggestions, tips, tricks, things that you love to share?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, we're in the thick of recital season. Shows are happening now. Some of us are in what we call the Done Club.
Right.
Some of us have that approaching. So,
Yes.
and we're going to wrap up this season. And there are definitely those who haven't ordered yet. We're here for you. We've got it. But as we look into the next season, we've got lots of great strategies and tips that we can help you with. First thing is just dancewear in general. We are a big supplier for studios. We have our full Weissman dancewear line that was developed for studio to be able to have the classwear that they need for dress code, shoes and tights. So as you're launching into that new season, you're thinking, okay, I've got to do a dress code, or I need to make it a little stronger, or maybe I want to sell some products. We have that product for you. From leotards, baby dresses, tights, shoes, all the things. We actually just released last week our newest catalog. So that is online. So our Weissman dancewear catalog, that the newest element, right? Yay! There's two things in that book that I think are really great to highlight this year for it. And one of those is skin tones. And we have continued over the years to really develop our skin tones in our tights. And I'm so excited and proud to say that we now have an even broader selection of shoes that match back to tights. So we've always had that caramel color and that hazelnut, but now some of our shoes are being offered in between colors, as well as in that hazelnut color. So that's a really awesome thing for dancers. Another thing we released was longs. So some of our leotards are now available in a longer length. So it's just a great opportunity as you're reevaluating the new year and what do I need to do? Every dancer needs a leotard. They need tights. They need shoes. If they can purchase it from you, that's even more helpful. And you're providing that service, one-stop shopping for them.
Yes.
One thing I wanted to say, Erin, can I, about the history of Weissman?
Yes.
When I started and how I kind of said I'm not a dancer, I will say to you that I have a dancer's heart. And someday when I retire and stop raising all my children, I will take dance classes because I love getting inside the mind of the customer. And I would say that's something that we try to do very much so, talking to teachers, surveying teachers, asking for that, we call it VOC, voice of the customer, always asking, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about that? A lot of the best ideas of things that we've launched they were born out of that feedback loop from the teachers and studio owners that we know and love. So
Claudia, are you going to be in Vegas at Dance Teacher Web?
Yes, I will. I'm
going to challenge you.
Okay.
I know you're busy because we're going to talk about all the things that you do at Dance Teacher Web, which is a lot. But I'm going to challenge you to either go into one of the classrooms and, even in the back, to just take a little class, or come to our booth and we'll just have a dance class on our own.
There you go. I like that.
I know. I need kickball and actually, it's funny because I've been in so many photo shoots and we always hire choreographers. And so I know I know good technique. I know all sorts of things without ever having taken a class.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Let's just remember about it. But anyway, okay. So
I will say it was wild when we first started. All the things we learned because we thought we had been in business for decades. And I was so curious. I'm like, why do we put hair bows on all the costumes? Like, wouldn't it be great to have different things? And I was kind of told like, oh, that's what teachers like. That's sort of what is done. And so by really pushing and asking those questions of teachers rather than assuming that we knew the end, I feel like Weissman has learned an awful lot just from sort of institutionalizing that curiosity to really get inside the minds of our customers. We have, I'm sure, Erin, you've talked about this with your people about personas. So we have personas for our dance teachers, and we have Robin, who's our rec persona, and we always talk about we talk about our personas internally to really help to personify and to make sure that we're thinking about you guys all the time.
100%, and that is something that we do. We dig into when I'm working with my coaching clients, is like the personas and the avatars, and like really when you're thinking about your branding and your marketing message and your story, your brand story, it's like, who are you talking to? And if you were sitting across from Robin,
right,
what would she tell me? Right? Like, put a name to your person, or like it can be a real person or it can be a made up person. Like maybe it is a real person. Sometimes I put on, my hat, and Justine here, who's with us, she's one of my clients. And so I'm like, what would Justine think? You know what I mean? Like, I really think about like, okay. So yes, absolutely. And it is about being curious and asking those questions
for sure
to know and understand more, because that is something, I will never forget my father saying before he passed away. He had a business, and we were sitting and talking one day in the hospital, and there was a conversation we were having, and he was actually the catalyst for me starting to do coaching in addition to having our dance company. But he said something so seemingly, but like profound at the same time. He said to me, Erin, in business, you have to be willing to change, or you have to be willing to perish.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. And I kind of, and then we went on. But I think about that constantly, because it is, society changes, needs change. As we evolve, our business has to evolve. So I love that you guys are so curious, really, about what it is. How is the business evolving? What do teachers want? When you trying to be the trendsetters and the leaders. And so I absolutely adore that. And if anyone's here, they know how I feel about revenue streams. So they should be selling their own. They should be selling. I mean, I get it, but we want to make it easy. But yes, they should be selling their own stuff. So
that's the tip.
It is a good tip.
Yeah. And making sure they're making money on the costumes and the things they're selling. We encourage studio owners all the time to more. It's not just add a couple bucks. It's your time is worth something, and you should be charging. And we talked to lots of studio owners across the country, and some of the most successful businesses recognize their worth, and they do charge what they're worth.
Well, my motto is, and actually one of the sessions that I'm teaching at Dance Teacher Web this summer is, it's just math.
Yes.
It's just math.
Yeah.
And that the math are facts and not the feelings.
Right.
So we're going to dive into the numbers and really helping, because a lot of studio owners feel like, well, math isn't my thing. I'm like, y'all know how to add and subtract and multiply and divide. That's all you need. We're not doing calculus here. Right? So, look at this. So Justine, I'm going to just add this real quick to our screen. She just said, I am a Weissman's customer. I look forward to checking out your studio apparel line.
Thank you, Justine. Yep, here it is. There's the book.
There it is. I love it. I love it. I love it.
You will love it.
Yes. So yes, here's the thing. Again, going back to that impact, you can have passion, but you have to be profitable or you will not be sustainable.
Correct. Yep.
So y'all, if you need help with math, just let me know.
Not just 5, 6, 7, 8, right?
Not just 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, we'll get into all the things, but okay. So I love it. I love it. I love it. So tell us a little bit about your involvement with Dance Teacher Web this summer, what they can expect. Because y'all, when we started talking and I was, talking to Steve and Angie over at Dance Teacher Web, I was like, oh my gosh, this, I know, right? Like, this is going to be so, so good. And I also am like, ooh, I'm going to have to sneak into some of this stuff because
we want to sneak into some of this stuff too, right? We want to experience it all. I was like,
I want to experience it. Yeah. But I want you to share kind of some of the opportunities and the things that you guys have planned, because y'all, it's going to be, it's so good.
It is a great, great, fun show. So back in Vegas, August 1st through the 4th, Monday is the 5th, and it's a fun show. As many Erin, it's energy, it's energetic. There's attendees, there's great classes, there's a lovely opening party, just a fun event, bringing all of us that have talked about our devotion to dance, our love, our passion for it together. So it's a fabulous show. Weissman has been a partner for DT Web, Dance Teacher Web, for many years. And this year we are continuing to offer some special things in our relationship. So one of those is we have a fashion show on Saturday morning. And the fashion show is a preview of our newest collection. So at that time, our new book from Showtime, Elite, all the things will have just launched, probably about a week prior. So our most popular question when we are at a summer show like Dance Teacher Web is, when is your catalog arriving? When is your catalog arriving? So around that time, our catalogs will be arriving, but we will have our fashion show on Saturday morning. Everybody is invited to go. And we showcase about 100 of the newest styles that are coming out for the fall collection. So it's an opportunity to see them on a dancer, in person, under the stage light, great music, and just get a preview. So that's one of the many fun things that we do. We also obviously will have our booth there, so you can come and check out dancewear. So Justine, if you come to Dance Teacher Web this summer, come check out the booth. You'll see all the things. Anybody else who's out there, come see it. So some of those products we were talking about. But another fun thing that we get to do is on the Friday evening, we do a pop-up sale. So you're talking about margins and revenue and all of that. This is a great opportunity to come shop some Weissman product that we have. It's a pop-up sale, great discounts, great margins. You don't have to take anything home. I think there's that thought process, like, oh, I'm going to go to a Weissman's pop-up sale and I actually have to take it all home in my suitcase. And how do I have to ship it? You don't have to do any of that. Come in, shop it, order, we call you. Yes, right? All the things. And so that will happen on the Friday night it's about 2 hours of shopping. We have samples in person, customer service completes the order. So that's a fun thing. And really, truly, it's the opportunity to spend, as Claudia said, and spending time with customers, sharing what's new from us, but hearing from our customers too. That's one of the things we, as you've heard already, we want to hear from our customers. We want to learn. That's the North Star. So we talk about what are the needs? What is she thinking? What's that time of the year? We know right now it's the busiest time of the year. We know Dance Teacher Web, you're preparing for the next year and you're in Vegas having a good time taking all the classes. So it's a fun opportunity. So we'll be at other events as well. So if anybody that's out there wants to head to the website on Weissman's side, you'll see our registration link or just the listing of all the shows that we'll be at. But we're looking forward to Dance Teacher Web in Paris for sure at the Paris Hotel.
Yes. Yes.
I know. Imagine Paris. Paris Hotel, Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I probably shouldn't say this. I'm probably going to get myself in trouble, but it's okay. I have been thinking, so I don't know if you guys know, I host a dance studio owners business retreat every year.
Fun.
And last year it was in Ireland.
Incredible.
Wow.
This year it's in Australia.
Wow.
But 25 might be in Paris.
Wow.
I've been thinking about it.
I love it.
Might need to join you.
Right? I know. Well, it's so funny because there's other, we have, obviously we're all friends here in the industry. And so I've had a couple be like, I'm not a studio owner. I'm like, do we need to have just like an industry retreat where we can? I mean, I'm not opposed to hosting it. So we can talk about it. Oh, Justine says yes to Paris, please.
There you go.
And I want to share with you because I love how much she shares. She says, awesome. Her Weissman's experience has always been so positive.
Oh, thank you, Justine. That's great. That makes our heart very happy. And thank you for your business and your support.
Yeah.
And we hope that everybody has that experience. We want everyone to feel well cared for and taken care of.
Absolutely. And, I think that I always love, I think it's so valuable to go to conferences, we should be lifelong learners, right? So
yes,
for that. But one of the big things, if we kind of go back to the idea of the pop-up and margins and things of that nature.
Yeah.
While I really do highly suggest for my studio owners to be able to take advantage of things like this, because it just, and here's what I'm going to say. You take advantage of those discounts and whatever. And then your profit margin only can increase. Doesn't mean if you take advantage of it, you're like, oh, I can cut my costs down to my parents. I'm not saying that we want to, it needs to be fair. They don't know that you got it on a discount. But I actually have one client who really works, we talked about it, she really works her costuming system now. And she's gotten her profit margin in a place where she takes that money and it will pay for her whole family trip on a big trip. So they went to Egypt.
Oh, wow.
Last year with just the profit that they made from costumes alone, because she was smart in her decisions and was proactive in purchasing.
Yeah. Very cool.
So y'all, there's lots of opportunities for you if you, think about it from that hat, right? So, anyway, I absolutely
that's a good one.
Yeah. Pop-up sale is a good one to help you meet those objectives, right? So, I would say it's worth your ticket alone to Dance Teacher Web.
Yeah. Yeah. But that volume, Erin, that volume discount really does add up too, because it's progressively, the higher. And we've heard people tell us, hey, it paid for our new Marley floors, or it paid for a water fountain, or a family trip. We've heard that many times.
Yes. It's about thinking about it from a different perspective, right? And how do you utilize the things that you guys offer, right? So I absolutely love that. So we talked about the pop-up, we talked about the show, the booth. Those are all, you guys, it's so good. It's I think if you've never been to Fashion Week, and Raja, that's you guys do such a great job with your production.
Oh, thank you.
I love it. So tell me, I know that we talked about that, the showcase. You have a show.
We
Yes,
do.
that's a big deal.
It is. It is. It is. It is it's what we say, it's our recital.
Yeah.
We do it yearly, every September, and it's a fun opportunity. It's a weekend of dance. It's a weekend of Weissman. I was like, come to the wonderful world of Weissman for the weekend and spend it with us. So it's a great opportunity to see products. We have fashion shows. So we do the one at DT Web, and then we do 3 fashion shows at our own event, showcasing all of the product.
All of it.
So every catalog is up there, from Elite to Showtime to our character collection. Again, under the stage light, great music, great choreography. And you just get a feel for Weissman, and you feel, I always say, like, we're family. This is an industry that's a family, and we all feel it in our hearts and our souls and the passion that we have for it. So you get to see the ins and outs of Weissman and how the relationship that we have with our customers. And we get to hear from you again. So fashion show, that opportunity to see product. Yeah. We also do floor modeling. So let's say I'm a studio owner and I need to see style, which my style number always and forever will be 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm requesting, I want to see style number 5, 6, 7, 8. I can put that in, and a model will come out in that costume for me to see it in person. So I can touch it, I can see it, I can feel it, ask questions. We have industry partners that are there. So Steve will be there from Dance Teacher Web. Some of the other industry leaders are there as well. We have the opportunity to shop the product in person. So it's really a fun weekend of dance and Weissman and spending time together, shopping, hearing from each other. So that's going to be in September. It's September 7th and 8th, right outside St. Louis in the metro area.
I wanted to say one thing about Showcase too. So there's a history with Showcase. The very first Showcase that we had our cases, and we had a carpet that covered up a stain on the floor, and we had a bucket of sodas and a tray of cookies. And maybe we had 10 studio owners that came. So what we learned, because we talked to studio owners, was they loved seeing all the costumes so they could plan their recital, so that when they left, they felt peace. And that was really important to us, not only to learn about the teachers and what you guys need and the studio owners, but also so that they could walk away feeling like they had accomplished something and checked off something that was big and weighing on their heads. And the other thing I mentioned was, historically, we're direct marketers. So we send catalogs out all over, but the chance to see the costume live and to pick it up and feel it, so you can see it up close, you can see it on a model who's modeling, and you can see it on the stage. How are our parents going to experience it in the auditorium under the stage lights? Because those are 3 different ways, in addition to the printed catalogs, of course. So some studio owners really find a lot of value and peace in having all of that planned out, and the Showcase and the UDMA shows all do help that as well.
Yeah, I love it. I have to tell you, so within our, currently, I don't know, we have a nonprofit organization where we do the arts outreach into the public school systems and preschools and things of that nature. So I don't actually purchase costumes for our dance company, because we don't have big recitals and things of that nature. But what I have to tell you, every summer when I come back from Dance Teacher, I do snag a couple of your catalogs. And I snag them. My youngest daughter, Peyton, she will sit in bed and just go through all of the costume catalogs. And she it's just, I could see, like, she has she also has, a dress form in her room, and she'll take different fabric and she'll start to put it, like, it inspires her. And it's just so funny, because she's like, Mom, you're going to bring catalogs home. Like, that's all she cares about. She's like, I'm gone for a week.
Right. What are you bringing me?
How many catalogs are you going to have?
Yeah.
Yes. You know what I mean? Because she loves it. She, like, goes through it, and then she'll dog ear which ones that just, she loves. And then she goes, so, I mean, I think the catalogs are fantastic.
Thank you. We hear that from the studio owners a lot. We see them at the shows with all the flags in their books. They also, many of them ask for an extra catalog, and we are all for that. Happy to send an extra one that they can tear apart, and that's what they put up on their walls to show to parents, or they create binders. All the costumes that they're interested in. It's really sweet, and agree with you that the little kids love tearing apart all those books. And
she loves it. And she actually, sometimes maybe she oversteps a little bit, but it's fine. In that she will take the catalog with her to her studio because she dances at a studio, that whatever. And she'll tell the studio owner, I really like this one. Can we make that happen?
She's an influencer.
There you go.
And her studio owner, we have a good relationship, obviously, but she's always like, so Peyton gave her suggestions in August of what she wants to see. And I'm like,
I love it.
not wrong.
Since I keep talking about history, a long time ago, the very first year I went to UDMA, and that was the first question I asked: when do you need the catalogs? Because we were getting them out in October, and so 7 other catalogs had already been out, and so just learning when Robin needs catalogs was a big shift for us to make sure that we're in the hands at the right time. It's like basic stuff. Yeah.
Well, and even if we think about it, though, there's also some shifts that have happened.
Yeah.
Like we're globally.
Yes,
right.
Of course.
Since that thing that we don't like to talk about anymore. But so it is, I really say how imperative it is to be proactive, to have a system, to start planning early.
Yes.
Right. And because you're just creating the frustration for yourself if you wait.
That is a really big tip. And while we do have a lot of in stock for those that want to just select from what is available and in stock, and our website does show our inventory levels very accurately, the earlier that you order, you kind of get in line earlier. Even though we go ahead with production, it does allow for the reorders to make sure that they get what they want. That, and using the wish lists on our website, being able to heart and name lists based on, like, this is my second level jazz, however the naming convention is. But to your point, having a process, Erin, is really super helpful.
It really is. It makes, our businesses are super cyclical.
Yeah. Yes, very.
It's not like, every year's a different. No, like we do the same thing.
We do.
So it shouldn't come to a surprise to you that this is going to happen again.
Yeah.
So let's create something to make it easy and streamlined for everyone as possible, and streamlined. So I love that. I love that you guys have that show and you have that, because it is something to see how something lays, or how it moves when they're moving, and what, those sort of things. And so I absolutely adore that you guys have that. I think it's super beneficial for studio owners. And that extra layer, maybe they come to Vegas and they're like, okay, they got that first round, and they're kind of going through, and they've made like their lists of like, okay, I really like the way I saw this one. And then they decide, you know what, I'm going to come in September. And then, hey, can we see that one again? And just how, so I love it. And then the
way you just explained it is exactly what we want, the process, and what we want them to do, why we do what we do. So they have that ability.
Beautiful.
So the tip is come to Weissman Showcase too.
Both. And then to Australia for the DTW business.
And all the things.
That's the story, I guess.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so we've been on for about 45 minutes, which I love, but I don't want to take too much of your time.
No problem.
Now, I know that we had talked about you might have something, a raffle or something special if they joined us or came on the replay, or what were you guys thinking about that?
Well, we would love to give away an account credit to a studio owner, or that it gives them the opportunity to get some product from here. But they have to know the answer to one of our questions that we have today.
I'm like, lean in.
So our biggest question that we would love to know is, what are the names of our founders who started our company? And we gave a little bit of a tip of this back in our conversation. So does anybody know, we're going to give away one winner, the name of who founded our company and started it 65 years ago?
I can't win. No.
Sorry, Erin.
It's okay. Like I said, that might be.
Yes, Justine is our winner anyway.
Yay! Hold on.
She gets credit. She has Howard there too.
Yes, awesome. There you go. Good job, Justine. So Justine, we'll look for your account and reach out to you as you come through. And make that happen for you. So we're excited to be able to offer that. So thank you. Thanks for being a part of the call today too.
I love it. I've had so much fun.
Can I say one thing parting, just always listening to teachers? We have a couple of things we've launched. One is online returns.
Yes.
And that's born out of lots of like, why do I have to call in for this and that? They can start any return online. So that's good. And there's a place on the website. And then also they can scan, you could get 15 boxes from us. There's a QR code that they can scan to see the products that are in that box, in that particular box. And both of those things are sort of behind the scenes and they're not really all that, but they're important to our Robins. So that's why.
So Amber just said in all caps, I love that you have online returns now.
Yay! That's what we wanted it to do for you.
Yes.
I mean, like, here's the thing. It's one of those things sometimes, as business owners, we invest in certain things because we do hear the feedback. Sometimes it can feel like there's no true return on investment when we make some of these things, but really there is, because our customer journey, their satisfaction, all of those sort of things, it's so important at the end of the day. And there is a return, that indirect maybe return on investment. And you are Amber's main costume company, which
thank you, Amber. Love it.
Love it. Yes, we do.
I love. So,
and we'll be here for the long haul too, just to assure anyone who's watching this, like, this is a solid financially family run. We get you, and we want to be here for.
We are your partner in dance.
We are,
and I know Amber will be there in Vegas, because that's where Amber and I think met the first time, was in Vegas, and she's a client now too. But that's one of her things. I know when she comes to Vegas is to look.
We'll have to look for you, Amber. Come say hello to us.
Yeah, definitely. Not a thing. She said yes. Absolutely. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me, coming. We've had, I love, like I said, I'm so curious, and I love hearing the history and the evolution and how it still stayed grounded and rooted in family, and but still looking at, okay, how do we make plus our experience? How do we really, make sure that we are evolving with our customers as well, and thinking about them in all aspects of what you're doing. So I absolutely love it. So thank you for sharing the history, because I didn't know all of the details of how many generations were involved. So today I feel like, I learned some things today too. And I'm just so excited. We'll be together in Vegas, and we'll do a mini dance session at our I'm just we'll pull you in.
Okay.
Claudia's like, I don't know, Erin.
No, I just, Is there
a genre you want to do?
I have always wanted to learn hip hop.
Okay.
Or tap.
Well, so one of my team members, I would probably have her teach me hip hop versus me.
That probably would be so embarrassing. It's okay. It's fine.
Okay, I don't know if you guys know, so I'm always that crazy person in the hallway, because I just like to have fun. And if you're not a little embarrassed, you're not having fun. No, I'm
oh, good. I'm having fun all the time.
2 years ago, was it 2 dance teacher webs ago? I think it was. Yes, it was 2 dance teacher webs ago. Me and my team were talking about, like, just we're silly and fun and whatever. Yeah. And so we brought, those little blow up bopper balls that like the kids bounce on.
Yes.
And ours have horse covers on them. So you do horse. So we did horse races.
Oh my goodness. Down the main hallway?
Yes. And there was so much laughter and joy, embarrassment when some people fell off.
There you go. Kind of like a dance class. You fall off, you fall down.
Get back on the
horse. Get back on the horse, and it was Vegas. So there was some bets placed
Yeah.
saying. But my point is, like, we just like to have fun, and it can be
Agreed.
fun.
We've
And
always fun for a good time.
I really am. I'm excited to see the new line and all the good stuff.
Oh,
And
thanks,
thank you.
Erin.
the countdown is on to Vegas, my
It
friends.
is. Yes.
The countdown is on. And so I'm going to let y'all go. I hope that you guys have a fantastic week, my friends. And I will see you next week, same time.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you
having
so
us.
much.
We appreciate it so much.
For another episode of the Erin Bird Live Show.